now we're going to switch gears. We're going to turn back to the food, but I do want to warn you, if you are hungry, you might want to look away because this will make you hungry. We're going to go back to Ward's House of Prime. Joining me again is Brian Ward. Thank you again for being with us. Brian, talk about the Irish dishes that people can get in your restaurant.
The Irish dishes this weekend, we're doing the shepherd's pie. Usually during lunch we have a few more dishes that we do. So we're known for our prime rib, but usually during Irish Fest we go through about 7,000 pounds of corned beef during that weekend. So today what we did was we made the shepherd's pie, which we're showing in two different ways. Some people like to do the shepherd's pie, which was when it was originally, I think it was the 1700s in Ireland. It was a dish that was put together so families could use their leftover food. So it was based being lamb, and that was a shepherd's pie, where in America shepherd's pie is the ground beef, which in Ireland they call cottage pie. So here we did the ground beef version, and it's ground beef, onions, and you cook those down together, and then you add beef stock, carrots. I like to use rubbed sage, fresh thyme, and you really let it cook down, simmer, so it's almost like, and then this version we're putting on top of the mashed potatoes. The other way to do it that you see a lot is where the meat is on the bottom, and then you actually take the potato, put it on top, and bake it in the oven. So I'm showing both versions of that shepherd's pie. And then one of the other things that I love to cook with, and kind of isn't as popular for some, but in Irish cooking it's a big thing, is cabbage. And a lot of people think of cabbage, they think it's not going to be as flavorful or not as good. And the dish that I made today is something at home that people can do. So it's shredding up the cabbage, and then we braised it in beer and cooked it down. But then to finish the cabbage, to really give it flavor and make it a little more exciting than cabbage is we put diced bacon in it, onions, and then fresh thyme, and it really brings out a different flavor that you eat it. It's a lot different than what people think when they think of just boiled cabbage. And then the last thing that we made, which is pretty easy, is I'm not a baker and I wanted to pick something that would go great with it, and it was the Irish soda drop biscuits, where the baking soda is a big part of Irish baking, and that's what you see, and it's an easy recipe to put together at home. Just flour, baking soda, baking powder, egg, buttermilk, and brown sugar. And the brown sugar is what gives it the little bit of color that it has, and it makes it a little sweeter. So it's one of those great things you can do. You can eat it with butter. A little bit of honey butter would be great with it, but it's also a great dish to go with the shepherd's pie.
Great food. You know, it looks like the ultimate time that you can have a nice comfort food dinner. So Brian Ward, Ward's House of Prime, we appreciate you getting us hungry and getting us in the spirit with your shepherd's pie and all of the rest of your good food.